On the show, in Wheelspin, we drive the new Porsche Cayenne. In Wheelspin, we drive the Mercedes E350. And on the track, we bring you the action from the third round of the JK Tyre National Racing Championship. If you are a hard man to please and you have a long wish list of all that you'd like to see in your car, then I have a vehicle which is going to please you immensely. A car which will take you off-road as easily as it can drive you within the city. A car which has everything that you can conceive of in terms of luxury, and also something which many cars fail to offer: sheer driving pleasure. The new Porsche Cayenne is what I'm driving today. And this is a car which is basically a sports car in the guise of an SUV. The Cayenne is certainly one of the most desired SUV not only in India but globally as well. And what makes it so is the Porsche DNA, which has given it exemplary handling and driving capabilities. The second generation Cayenne was globally launched in 2010 and introduced in India the same year. And this is the first facelift that it has received. This 2014 Cayenne was first shown to the public at this year's Paris Motor Show in September. So what's new in the new Porsche Cayenne? At first glance, you might be tempted to say, not a whole lot, because she still uses the same body shell and the design elements remain the same. But a closer look will tell you that she now gets Bison-on headlamps, LED daylight running lights and a new grille up front. And if you do happen to walk to the rear of the car, you will find that the taillight cluster is new, and she now gets twin exhausts which are much bigger in size and gives the car a much more chunkier appearance. The changes might not be numerous, but it is enough to separate this from the existing one, and it certainly adds to the car as it does freshen up things. The Cayenne is a little over 4.8 meters long and sits on a wheelbase of almost 2.9 meters, which doesn't really make it a big SUV. But with its distinctive and muscular lines, it does look like an SUV that you want to drive. And the Porsche badge ensures that you not only get the very best in terms of design, quality, and of course the ride and handling. And this is what puts the Cayenne almost on top of the pecking order in the SUV world. The Cayenne is very well made, and what I like is the attention to detail, like this. If you happen to leave the door half open, then it shuts by itself, a new feature in this new Cayenne. Not much has changed inside the new Cayenne as well, but what you get now is a new steering wheel wrapped in leather and very sporty looking. In fact, this comes from the Spider 918 model, and now you get paddle shifts as standard as well. So overall, it's an improvement and it looks quite good. In terms of features, the Cayenne pretty much has everything that you might look for in a top-notch SUV. Leather seats, leather fascia with a large 7-inch color touchscreen display, a panoramic sunroof and a Bose surround system to top off things. The interiors of the Cayenne has always been very nice, and this new one too remains the same. Very plush, very tastefully done, and of course comfortable. It's more in the tradition of a luxury car than an SUV really, and comes with all the gizmos and the features you can think of. The interiors might be well appointed, but in terms of space, especially in the back, things can get a bit tight if you, in true Indian tradition, try to pack in more than the prescribed for adults. Because this is where the Cayenne does fall short as compared to some other SUVs in the market. But the trade-off is quite justified if you happen to spend more time on the driver's seat rather than on the rear. And that's exactly what you should be doing if you're buying into the Porsche brand, which stands, most importantly, for driving pleasure. But in true SUV tradition, it also has this button here, and what this button does is to raise the height of the car, and you'll be surprised to what levels this goes up to. It's 268 millimeters of ground clearance that this new Cayenne has, and that I think is a lot. But when you're driving on the normal roads, it settles down at around 180 millimeters, which is the normal mode. But then in the sport mode, you can further lower the height of the car to increase the handling capabilities. And if you do happen to turn off the paved tarmac, you will discover that the Cayenne doesn't fall short of being a full-blown SUV. You can raise the height of the car up to 268 millimeters, and this ensures that you will go over most of what lies in your path. Plus, of course, the all-wheel drive with a permanent 4-wheel drive lock helps. And the 18-inch wheels adds to these capabilities with 580 Newton meters of torque coming in quite handy. If you are somebody who always wanted an SUV but never got one because you didn't like the handling and the driving part of that, then you should drive this Cayenne. And if you do that, you will know that everything is so very different from any other regular SUV. The Cayenne is one car which will satisfy any keen driver. It's really a pleasure to drive this Cayenne and push it. And the more you push it, the more you like this car because it's so responsive. The engine is mated to a gearbox which changes with ease and flawlessly. In fact, it's hard to fault this car in terms of driving. I just wish all SUVs were like this. What really sets the Cayenne apart from any other SUV in the Indian market is the driving dynamics. It really feels as if you are at the wheels of a fast-paced performance sedan rather than an SUV. It responds to your every wish and fancy, and you know exactly where you are going with this. The power delivery is linear, the engine is quiet and refined. In terms of driving modes, you get 3, a comfort for your regular in-city driving, then you get the Sport and the Sport Plus for really fast-paced action. Plus, you have got an off-road as well as in-city driving mode. Porsche, in fact, is going to offer this Cayenne in a large range of engine options. For to be precise, what we drive today is the base diesel, the V6 3-litre, which churns out 245 brake horsepower. And the range topping is the petrol 4.8-litre, which churns out 520 brake horsepower. And that, I presume, should be fun to drive. Sandwiched in between is a 3.6-litre petrol engine as well as a 4.2-litre diesel. So wide range to choose from in terms of engine options and also in terms of your wallet size, because the more powerful it becomes, the more expensive it gets. But driving this base 3-litre V6, I can tell you, even if you opt for this one, you'd be quite happy with it. It has adequate juice to power you through your everyday routine as well as on the highway. The Cayenne, as to be expected, comes with an array of both passive and active safety features like dual-stage 6 airbags, Porsche Stability Management System, EBD, automatic hold function, lane departure warning, park assist, just to name a few. If you're looking for a sporty car full of luxuries and capable of taking you anywhere, then I suggest you take a serious look at this new Cayenne here, because this is one car which combines all these attributes very, very well indeed. Armed with a 4x4 and a high ground clearance, she is capable of going over any terrain almost. And if you spend time behind the wheel, she is a shared driver's car. And in terms of luxury, she can match any luxury sedan. But remember, all these things don't come in cheap. The basic Cayenne that we drive, the V6, cost a little over 1 crore, and it stretches all the way to rupees 2 crores for the top of the line V8. Okay, the Cayenne, like all good things of life, comes at a cost. But then if you do manage to park this in your garage, what you will get is a vehicle with which there won't be any arguments regarding its capabilities, lineage, and of course the unmatched driving pleasure it will bring you every time you settle in behind the driver's seat. And this is why Porsche Cayenne is such a hot property. coming up next. In Wheel Spin, we drive the Mercedes E350.